Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Tim Braden, Second Legacy. You are amazing, and oh, do we have an amazing show for you today. It turns out that one of our old foes from the gun world, the gun controller himself, Chris Murphy, apparently has a very rough and tough and tumble message for the Democrats. They got, the word he used is cataclysmed. I'm not sure if that's the correct use, but you get the idea. And now he's got the solution, guys. It came down from on high. He's figured it out, and I cannot wait to show you what he's doubling down on. Everything will be linked, of course, and make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you want to spread some of that amazing two-way humor and sarcasm delivered on point for the point of freedom. And with that said, Tim, are you ready to jump into, I'm not going to say that rest of that sentence. Are you ready to observe Chris Murphy in a camera? Because that almost got weird.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's nothing like kicking off your Tuesday morning with little Chris Murphy nonsense.
You got to take a Murphy.
I almost said a naughty word.
Well, you know, Tim, just if anyone out there didn't notice, we did have an election 7 days ago. We had 7 days to soak it all in, and the Democrats are processing, and it's interesting watching them process. I can tell you that right now.
They're struggling with it. You know, you have politicians like Murphy that's struggling, and we'll hear from him momentarily. We have other, we have other Democrats out there that are sterilizing themselves. You know,
that was a thing.
Yeah. I mean, they're shaving their heads and fleeing to Canada. They're punishing the conservatives by sterilizing themselves and leaving the country. I mean, it's horrific, and it shocked us all. But please continue. All right, now
it's a bold strategy. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out.
Bold move, Cotton. Yeah.
Yeah, bold move. F&A, Cotton, F&A. All right. So now, if you guys haven't seen Dodgeball, that's a great movie. Let's tune in to Chris Murphy because he has been reflecting.
So Tuesday was a cataclysm. Let's not kid ourselves. An electoral map wipeout. In the Senate, our effective ceiling for Democrats is now 52 seats. The ceiling for Republicans is 62 seats. That's unacceptable. And, well, nobody has all the answers right now. I certainly don't. What I think is most important is that we not kid ourselves. This is not a moment for small changes or reforms. This is a moment for a fundamental rebuild of the left. Just a couple decades ago, we could win races in Missouri and Florida and Ohio. Today, we get clobbered in all of those states. That's unsustainable for us and for this country. So here are a few thoughts that I have at the outset.
All right, so Tim, cataclysm, clobbered, full rebuild, down to the bottom, rebuild the entire left. That doesn't jive with some of the other things we're hearing, does it?
No, but I think probably their best move at this juncture is to go further left. I don't know how much further they can go.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Falling off the flat earth they believe exists, but they got a bit further to go. I think, we can trans the dogs and cats,
and perhaps. The cats can. I mean, so like I can see the song now. They're transing the dogs. They're transing the cats. I love it.
Yes,
I love where your head's at.
We can put tampons in kitty litter boxes. I mean, there's so many things we can do to go a little further left. That might actually entice more people to come over to the Democrat Party.
It's like Tim, you're always on the cutting edge.
I'm telling you,
I like about you.
It's the only logical choice. It's not like going back to the center would fix anything.
No, that's true. That's true.
Who believes in rational thought and moderation? No. Only way to fix this sinking ship is to, go further left.
That's a good point, Tim. I hadn't thought about it from that angle. But amazingly, he's not being hyperbolic. They are actually doing that in these cases. So a lot of the exit polling and a lot of the stuff after the election was quite literally the left went too far left. You went too extreme. You went crazy. On the next videos that we're going to show you, we literally actually, Dr. Slides, do you have the American continent right there pulled up to see the shift in the electorate? If you do, throw it up. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Tim, can you see that on your screen?
Yeah. Oh, boy. I mean, definitely need to go further left.
That's obviously, the people are definitely asking for more blue to the left.
Yes, that's a cataclysm. Only way to fix that, yeah.
I mean, you got to go farther left because clearly when you're going that far left and the people go to the right, I mean, like, they just needed more options to go to the left. They didn't understand, Tim. They didn't understand it. So we got to do a rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Okie dokie.
That's scary, man. The only way we're going to fix that is to to abort puppies and maybe things like that. So this is
in
crazy.
Colorado and Atlanta, I don't know what happened. They were demanding more leftism.
If they would have had more abortion buses outside, Democratic rallies and big inflatable UIDs, if they would have just done more of that, they just didn't get the message out. There just wasn't enough of that.
Maybe if more people got dicked at the DNC.
Yeah.
That was a good video. All right, well, let's talk to Chris. Maybe Chris has some more things that we can talk about and ascertain. Let's dive into this.
About the conversation we need to be having. First of all, we are not listening to the people we claim to represent. We claim to be the party of the working class, the party of poor people. And yet we let interest groups and think tanks tell us what those people need. That's why we end up with these relatively small ball solutions. I'm not saying they don't matter, but more roads and bridges, bulk negotiation of prescription drug prices, a little bit bigger tax credit for families with kids. That's not meeting the moment, because Americans are exhausted by a neoliberal economic order that has consolidated power in the hands of the few, that has forced them to become global citizens instead of having some unique local identity or a true sense of being an American citizen. Technology has forced us into these cycles of withdrawal from each other. People feel isolated.
All right, Tim, did you catch what he just said? This neoliberal order, the one world order kind of thing, like the centralized. It's about the global interaction and being a global citizen, climate change.
Yeah.
Where did that come from prior? Was that the Rand Paul standing up there and screaming that we should do that, or was that I don't know, like someone like Chris Murphy who was up there screaming that?
Yeah, this man is delusional, and this is he said that they don't represent the people they claim to have represented, and he thinks that maybe they just weren't liberal or progressive enough. But keep in mind, folks, the Republicans made huge gains across all demographics in this election cycle, right? They did. They added more men, more women, more Latinos, more Black, more Asian, more everything, more Jews. Everything voted more for Trump than in 2016. And his solution to this, because Trump wasn't talking about taking us further left, right? And his solution to this is well, we just kind of missed the mark, folks. We lost way too many people to Trump, so we got to go double and triple down on
further to the left.
Yeah,
because we're not listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. You're not listening. You haven't been listening since you got basically bought out by Everytown for gun safety and Mama's Band Action. Every single thing for this man was a gun control solution. Did you get a splinter? It wouldn't have happened if we had mag bans.
Right.
Did gangs shoot up at an environment? Yep. Guns didn't exist. Gangs wouldn't have done it. God, this guy is such a dolt.
Yeah. It is. It's crazy. And he is right. He's out of touch. But he continues to be out of touch.
So let's be more out of touch. It makes so much sense.
I mean, really, it didn't dawn on him that maybe people don't want radicalism on either side. Because Trump, despite all the rhetoric and all the stuff the mainstream media is telling you, Trump isn't some radical right-wing crazy. No. He just isn't. He is more of a populist centrist than probably any president in modern history. I mean, it's just they keep amping that they're believing their own BS. Right?
Yes.
Oh, he's a Nazi. He's this. He's that. And Trump's just like, yeah, man. Like, he wants to ban abortion. No, he just wants to send it back to the states. Oh, he wants to get rid of the Department of Education. What will he ever do? It's been around since 1979. He went from testing number 1 to barely holding 30th place. But what are we going to do? We're just going to push it back down to the states. Nothing's going away.
Yeah, that's sorry, I stole your thunder on that scream. That was going to be such a good one. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay. No.
But you know what's interesting about that? You're starting to see a trend with Trump and what his preferred method of solving problems is. And it's not an overarching federal control system. It's back to the states. You look at the abortion argument, he put it back to the states. What he's talking about right now with education, putting it back to the states. Like, basically, he is decentralizing the federal government down to a state level. And I'm like,
But this is the way our republic was originally structured. The federal government has usurped all the power of the states. The states are supposed to be autonomous. The federal government's supposed to be in a very small box. It'll mediate disputes between states and deal with international treaties and things like that. And that's all it was originally designed for. A few other tasks, but where we sit today, the federal government tries to control literally every aspect of your life.
Every aspect.
And there has not been one social program, one anything the federal government has touched that improved in quality or went down in cost. It always destroys everything it touches. And so if you push it back down to the states, now you have 50 states, 57 if you're Obama, you have 50 states that are competing for your tax dollars. So if you don't like the way things are going in Illinois, hop over the border to Indiana. Pay lower taxes, have better schools, have lower cost of living. And then that incentivizes Illinois when they start losing people and losing electors like California's going to do in 2030 and several other states. Then they have to change the game and bring you back, or they'll continue to lose.
That's so fascinating you brought that up, because I don't know if you've seen it yet. I didn't have it ready in the pre-show. But if you guys are looking at something interesting, I think I said this in another episode, look at the the electoral college switches that are going to happen in 2030 based off the census movements. That is intriguing, because every single blue state is losing like 2 to 4 electoral college votes, and every red state is gaining those 2 to 4. It's going to be really interesting in about, how many years? 6 years?
It's 2030.
5 years?
Yeah. Well, 5 years, because we're about to go into 25. So
so 5 years. I mean, it is really, truly fascinating. If you're looking here, and Tim just sent it, so we'll throw it up on the map for you guys. Basically, there's a change in seats that goes all the way from +4 to -4, and the yellow through the orange are minus. California, that is, that's Washington's, that's Oregon, that they're losing. Minnesota is losing. Illinois is losing. Michigan is losing. Pennsylvania is losing, and New York is losing. If Pennsylvania loses electoral college votes, it loses a lot of its power in swing states. But these are all going to the areas that are gaining them. Idaho is gaining them. That is, let's see, we got Arizona, and then we have, I think that's New Mexico. No, it's not New Mexico. That's, God, what's right above, I'm blanking, what's right between Idaho and Arizona? Nevada, and, oh my God, Utah. That's Utah.
Yeah, Nevada to the left, Utah to the right. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. And then Texas gaining, Florida gaining, the entire Southeast is gaining. Guys, they are losing. They are losing people.
Yeah, and the people that they're losing are conservatives that are sick of living in these liberal bastions.
Not the blueies. Yep.
They're moving to conservative states, and they're bolstering the electoral numbers for these conservative states and taking them from the liberal bastions. And this is going to screw the map up for them. This is why they so desperately want to get rid of the electoral college.
Because they're doomed.
Because they know in 2030, just 5 short years away, it's going to be very difficult for them to win an election.
Or at least get a lot harder.
Stack the deck.
At least get a lot harder.
And this isn't deck stacking. This isn't the Republicans trying to rig the game. This is the constitutional constitutional law playing out. This is how our republic is structured. Yes.
Exactly right.
Anyway,
total side road, but you know what? That's what's beautiful about the Second Legacy. We can afford to do that because we got time. All right, so let's go back to Chris Murphy and let's see more about his deep observations, Tim.
They feel impotent. They feel deeply anxious. Democrats spend almost no time actually matching policies to the way that people feel. Now, mass deportation and closing our borders permanently, that's bad policy. But it speaks to a legitimate feeling that people have, that there are these global forces like increased migration that are outside of our control, that we are at their mercy. People are looking for control. And one of the ways that Republicans deliver them a message of control is control of our borders. Democrats need to understand.
What do you think about this? Is this not interesting to you?
This is so funny that he's talking about this, because you know what I saw this morning? A press conference with Trudeau saying that Canada is shutting down immigration right now.
Oh, those meanies.
Because they have all these people coming in, like foreign exchange students and stuff like that, and they're taking jobs from Canadians, and they're making life for actual Canadian citizens more difficult. So they're going to temporarily slow the immigration into Canada. Funny timing.
It's so odd how that happens. Hamas, it was interesting that you bring that up, Tim, because I'm pretty sure like on November 8th, Hamas was like, all of a sudden, guys, we had a good war. It was a good exchange. We traded some blows. We both got some wins. Let's stop fighting now. Now, what could happen from November 5th through November? Actually, it was the 5th through the 6th. November 5th through 6th. What happened, Tim? Was there a hurricane or
something like that? Yeah. Then
was it a Trump-a-cane?
Had a hurricane, then you had FEMA out there saying don't help people with Trump signs. Yeah,
we still got to talk about that one too. Man, we got to talk about so much, Tim.
Yeah. So I sent over a link for Dr. Slides to talk about the October 24th, 2024 press release of the government of Canada reduces immigration.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Like right on the heels of, Trump coming into power and all the discussions we've had.
It's unrelated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is October 24th, so it's technically a few days before the election, but they saw the writing on the wall.
It's been the whole works for 4 years. Yeah, this has been the work for 4 years. Biden did such a good job. Everyone knew he was doing a good job, so they went ahead and they had this in the works the whole 4-year term. And that's the way it worked. And right when he gets out, everything gets better. It's because of all the policies that he did for 4 years. That's how it works, right? That's the Democrat argument. It's so simple. We finally got kicked out of power. Things improved very quickly and radically. And it's because our policies won't work when we leave. That's it.
And maybe there's a little bit of maybe the Canadian liberals don't want American liberals up there because ours are even worse than theirs. I mean, who knows?
I don't think ours are worse than theirs. I think ours are very they blend right into Canadians. All right, let's go back to Chris Murphy and wrap this because we got a little bit more of him.
That Republicans start by examining the way that people are actually feeling and then matching policies to the way that they're feeling. Democrats need to start doing the same thing. If we did that, we would pick bigger fights. We would be a more populist party. We would name the corporations and the billionaires that are screwing people, and we would take it to them. Now, that's something that the Harris campaign did not do. And frankly, when leaders in our party like Bernie Sanders do it, they largely get shamed or shunned as dangerous populists. Maybe that's because if we actually were fighting billionaires, if we were actually engaging in true populist economic ideas, it would hurt our coalition, which these days tends to be higher income people who don't want the status quo fundamentally upset.
Okay, hold on a second.
So for me,
do you realize what he's saying?
Yeah.
He's going further left into economic populism, which is a very fancy way of saying socialism.
Yeah.
Got to go after the billionaires and the millionaires and the trillionaires. And then he's throwing the Democrats under the bus, saying that we don't care about the little people. We only care about the big money. Okay.
But think about
who's become what?
Yeah. So think about this. The left just loves to tax the rich. Think of the famous address that AOC wore, or, eat the rich, and, the rich are the bane of our existence. Oh, these evil rich that employ the nation. They hate the rich, but not enough to not take their $1 billion donated from the rich to the Harris campaign, of which in 100 days, she burned through $1 billion and wound up $20 million in debt. These morons want to run our finances, and they're complaining about the billionaires that literally feed them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cutting their own throats at every level. They're turning on the American people, and they're turning on the rich people that fund their moronic behavior.
Correct. They've abandoned the grassroots. They've abandoned the everyday worker. They've abandoned the working class. They've abandoned everyone below a certain income threshold because at some point they became the party of the affluent. And now they've got to go after the affluent while still asking the affluent for money to support their attacks on the affluent. This is going to work great, guys. It's going to work really, really good. But you know what? Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Your electoral college map looks great.
Funny side note, Harris's, $20 million in the whole campaign is out there sending out emails now begging for money so they can do a recount.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. How the tables of time turn, don't they? All right, well, let's let Chris wrap it up because he's got more points, Tim.
Those issues of true economic populism, moving power from people that have it to people that don't have it, that has to be the tentpole of our coalition. And here's the other hard truth we have to face. We cannot win if we don't build a bigger tent. And in order to build a bigger tent, we likely have to have economic populism as that tent pole, and then allow into the tent people that do not agree with us on 100% of our core social, cultural issues, as well as other hot button topics like guns and climate. I think we'd be better off fighting out discussions around some of those very difficult social and cultural issues inside our tent instead of pushing everybody who disagrees with us outside.
All right, that was the thing I wanted to bring in. Tim, so now, hey, you didn't get the memo? We get invites into the Democratic Party as gun rights activists. We can be in there because they need bigger tents.
Come on in, just be a socialist, and and we won't push you out if you disagree with us. Well, why would you go in the tent if you disagree with them in the first place, dummy? It's like we don't want to push people out that disagree with us. We won't come in your tent.
It's easy
because we're not communists. We like our rights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what's so fascinating about this, if you look at what he's saying, all the little tenets of his little 3-minute little video right here, he is completely undercutting every piece of the cultural norms inside the Democratic supporter. You got to be elitist. You got to be arrogant. You got to talk down and condescend to anyone who does not agree with you. It's only my way or the highway. If you don't agree with me with everything, screw you. I hope you die. I mean, literally, he's talking about the standards of the blue side of the vote right now. Now he's going to welcome in gun rights advocates who don't always believe with full-on AR bans. What he's really talking about is, guys, we're basically a purity test into a smaller and smaller and smaller tent. No one likes us. Yeah, no kidding. You're a dickhead. Anyway, it's just my own personal assessment.
He's your favorite politician.
I loathe this one. This one I don't like. I don't like him at all. Tim, I don't like him at all.
I know.
Mostly because he's a disingenuous liar who takes our gun rights at any cause, and then he completely ignores, easy solutions for the rights to, or the solution to the problem of saving our children's lives and protecting our children for the sake of gun control, because more crisis actually leads to his benefit. But other than that, there's no reason I don't like him.
Yeah. No, he's a big pile of steaming human feces. But what's nice about that, though, folks, is that he's a very clean person, because when he goes to take a dump, he just breaks a piece off and throws it in. Sanitary.
There you go. Right? There you go.
So anyway, all right. Thanks.
A new definition of taking a Murphy.
Taking a Murphy. Just break a piece off and throw it in because you're a complete bag of beep. Anyway, so Murphy, thank you for today's episode. We look forward to more of your mental dribblings, and maybe we'll make additional videos in the future, because he's a constant source of entertainment and stupidity, which gives us content. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll talk to you guys soon.